Hey everyone, it's Ivan, keybadger.com, out here for another episode, Coast to Coast. And in this episode, getting to our second range day over there in Parma, Idaho. Of course, nothing can be easy. That night before, second range day, drove in, got in at like 3:30 in the morning, crashed out of this hotel. Dead tired. Woke up maybe about 4 hours later because I had to go meet someone for a little like 2020 drug deal where you're buying ammo out of the back of a car. And fortunately, through a friend, he introduced me to an acquaintance of his. Long story short, got a bunch of 6.5 and 308 to get me across like the next little stretch before ammo drop was coming in for the resupply. So I ended up getting up early that morning, went to the bank, had to take an Uber, did not want to take a bus through the drive-thru, got some cash out, came back, $1,600 later, had a bunch more ammo in the bus, and right about that time, it was time to head to the range. Trying to get there early so we get everything set up. But as I mentioned, nothing is ever easy, so we promptly got lost because Google Maps tries to route you into like the back of places. Finally ended up getting around, get the gate open, pretty much like right on time, and proceed to get everything set up and roll into the range day. The second range day was a little bit smaller than the first one, and consequently it was kind of cool in that a little bit more intimate, not as many people, and went around, something I should have done on the first one but didn't because it escaped me. But went around, introduced everyone, or had everyone introduce themselves.
Actually, my birthday present from my dad. And so, yeah, I mean, like, what better thing to do for your birthday than go shoot a bunch of guns you've only ever seen on YouTube?
Yeah, very cool.
I'm Brandon. I just got invited to come with them.
Awesome.
I'm Will. I'm their dad. I brought him out here for the birthday present.
Awesome. And kind of went through as far as, hey, this is what we have, this gun using this optic, the silencer, whatever it may be, and kind of rolled through the whole catalog of guns that we had there. X0, but they were kind enough to send it out, and it's sitting on here. Right here is the SP5 with a SB Tactical folding brace on it. This is the Minifix by Q, little bolt action 300 blackout SBR, and this has their second focal plane 1:8 by EoTech. And then this is my prototype 5.56 Sugar Weasel. The range in Parma that we had went out to, I don't know, probably 700-800 yards, like up onto a hillside. But we pretty much strung out a number of different targets we got from Thor Targets out at ranges for pistol, anywhere from like 10, 15 yards, all the way out to, I think, like 200 or 300 yards for a rifle. And I believe they had a 400 or 500 yard gong as well. So pretty good spread of targets, again, utilizing those Thor Targets that we had and getting everything set up for the day. And kind of after briefing everything, moved into doing some shooting. As far as rifles go, we had a couple different 5.56 offerings out there, one of which being my prototype Q Sugar Weasel. A lot of fun, put a lot of rounds through that gun. And people also got to shoot the Noveske N4 Recon, a 16-inch 5.56, and on that I ended up putting a Trash Panda silencer by Q. Both of those were using EoTech's. The N4 also had a 3x magnifier, allowing you to reach out a little bit further. As far as 300 blackouts out there, I had my Honey Badger pistol with a Thunder Chicken on it. Thing is a blast to shoot. And also had the Brownell's BRN 180, their Gen 2 300 blackout. Little flash hider on there, not very quiet compared to the other 300 blackouts, but definitely a lot of fun. And a lot of people's favorite, the Minifix by Q, a 300 blackout, short throw bolt action, about an 8-inch barrel, and on that had the Thunder Chicken silencer by Q also. And then for an optic, had a EoTech 1 to 8, second focal plane, sitting in a ScalarWorks mount. Really fun little combo. Another gun people really enjoyed shooting was the Noveske Leonidas. It was their N6, their 308, 12.5-inch barrel with a Thunder Chicken on there. That thing is so much fun. It uses their switch block gas system, so you keep it over on suppressed setting and makes it actually really nice and soft shooting, but that thing definitely thumps downrange. And on that, had also in a ScalarWorks mount, a Voodoo from EoTech, their 1 to 6 first focal plane scope. When it comes to bolt actions, had 2 out there. One, the Fix by Q, 16-inch 6.5 Creedmoor with the Jumbo Shrimp silencer on there. And then also had rifle 301 by Sawtooth Rifles. Both of them featured a 5 to 25 Voodoo optic by EoTech. And those both respectively really fun guns. The 6.5 Creedmoor is a blast to shoot, and so is my son's rifle, rifle 301, chambered in 243. When it comes to subguns, we had a couple different offerings. One of people's favorite guns out there was the B&T TP9. Thing is really quiet with its proprietary can for that gun, using a EoTech red dot on top. I will say, not my favorite trigger, but people definitely enjoyed shooting that one. If you grew up watching any of the 80s and 90s action movies, you'll love the MP5. We had a SP5 out there, complete with SB Tactical's pistol brace. And on it, I had a Liberty Infinity X can. One of the cooler guns too, I will say, is the High Point Carbine, sporting none other than Q's brand new Erector 9mm silencer. While technically it is kind of a sub gun, but it started as a pistol, I had the B&T chassis, where you basically drop in your serialized trigger package from a SIG P320, throw your P320 slide on, and now you have a little SBR. It's pretty amazing how much further you can reach out when you essentially put a stock onto a pistol. Fortunate on this tour to have the Zev OZ9. They sent out 2 of them. One will be shot and ultimately raffled, and the other unshot and auctioned. Respectively, serial numbers SOC-F 010 and SOC-F 009. People also had a chance to shoot the Glock 44, the Glock chambered in 22 long rifle, and for that I had the Erector 22 silencer by Q. A lot of fun plinking with that pistol. Overall, the range day was a success. It was a lot of fun, a lot of people, well, I say a lot of people, a dozen or so people, but coming from all around. Some people making their way like 8 hours one way to come to this range day, which it was pretty cool. It was really neat just meeting these different people from all over, and yeah, everyone had a chance to shoot some really cool guns and just hang out and have a good time. It's a blast all around. This whole thing was largely made possible by some incredible sponsors that supported this whole venture. One being SB Tactical. They make incredible stabilizing braces for pistols. Q pretty much had their whole lineup out there, silencers, rifles, all that stuff. Stuff's a ton of fun to shoot. Edgar Sherman Design, really great minimalist slings. We actually at one point had a little friendly shooting competition, in which case people would basically start with their rifle hanging, slung, and pick up their magazine, load their rifle, take a shot at a target at distance from their strong side, transition to their support side, take another shot. And the fastest time getting both their hits, basically you got to pick out pretty sweet sling. And lastly, as far as some of our sponsors go, High Point. They make some fun stuff. Might be highbrow and like, oh, High Point, go shoot one. Especially their carbine. Thing is a blast to shoot. Even more fun with a silencer on it. A lot of great people made this stuff happen. Also, we had shooting surplus sending out a couple guns, both the SP5, TP9, as well as the Glock 44. And last but not least, G9 bullets. They did an amazing job loading up a bunch of 5.56 as well as subsonic 9mm, which is almost impossible to find right now. So big thank you to those guys as well in really making this thing actually happen. Big thank you to everyone that came out, as well as everyone that helped make this happen. Whether you guys have supported it through purchasing stickers or especially all of my sponsors, appreciate everything you guys have done in making this whole thing happen. It's great getting together with a bunch of people out there at that second range day over there in Parma, Idaho, and yeah, good times. Ready to roll across though, continue the journey on the coast to coast trip. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.